on. That's working. That's on. I'm just continuing on my building adventure. I guess I should close my door. I'm not going to see chat if I don't have it zoomed. Just hang on one more moment, guys. Okay then, now I can actually see the text. Hey, Storm Raider Gaming, how's it going? You're up nice and early. Yeah, that's what it is in the PM over here. That's why I was like, you're up nice and early. It's 20 after 6 in the morning. I've stopped waking up at 5:30 recently, getting closer to 6:30 and 7. That's making me feel more normal. Yeah, I just started. As you see, I'm now finally moving forward on my project. I'm no longer repairing. I'm hoping this fix is good. We'll see in the end, won't we? If you're wondering, the reason I always do this after I put a crystal or put things together, it's because on the OG Vive controllers, it continues to vibrate after you're no longer holding on to the item. And there's only like 4 point some percent of us that are using that controller. And I was like, yeah, if we want it to stop, we can get new controllers. My next set are going to be index controllers. Give me some of that there finger tracking. It doesn't get in. It got a little annoying for a bit, but I mean, the only other option was to turn off haptic feedback completely. So I'm like, no, it's good like it is. I should have new controllers within the year. I just did a silly certification, and now I can work at the pot shops locally. Well, here, listen. It's a very, very high frequency vibrate, so it's not too bad. You very quickly numb to it. I have a personal thing against Facebook. I've never had an account. I never intend to have an account. And I don't support them financially in any way possible. Oh, I don't work at one yet. I should have a job by end of the month. We got a lot of them because it's still relatively new. And hopefully I'll only have to work at one shop, but we'll see what hours are like. We're not as bad as the States, but for people who don't know their rights, you can still get screwed pretty good here in Canada. I mean, I was a security guard for almost 10 years. And the amount of new Canadians we have that are scared to say, oh, I'm missing this, and I'm missing this on my pay, I'm missing that on my pay. Could you maybe please ask? It's like, no. You have to demand that they give it to you. You know, they can't make you work this long. They can't make you do this. They can't make you do that. They can ask and you can refuse, and there can't be any consequences. You know, things that people just wouldn't know about an individual country, especially when it's so different from where they come from. One of the marijuana shops we having in our provinces. They sell marijuana. They sell the extracts. It's all legal and controlled by the local and like provincial and federal governments. But until I just recently took this test there, like earlier today, I used to do security. And the amount of security guards that are new Canadians that get taken advantage of by security companies is outrageous. So I was a real thorn in my boss's side at all times because I kept informing their employees of their rights that they were being violated on. Yeah, well, it was fun for the first couple of years, but the pay in this country is not that great for security guards. They were a whole whack. They opened it up at one point so that anybody could open a company. Yeah, made it so anybody could open a company. So these little fly-by-nights were coming in and lowballing everything, and they basically made the wages nasty, super low. I mean, technically, I'm still employed by a security company, but once I get another job, I'm out of there. I just haven't worked in a couple of months. Thank you. I hope to have a job probably end of next week. We'll see how it goes. Hope I don't have to go hunting for more dyes, but I think I might. I could be building this doubled. I could be building it like that, but then I'd be missing out on my 9th block, which is another free block. Since this is on top of itself, is why I'm doing a double pass. Yeah, the crystal's magic. Magic, magic, magic. It only takes 4 blocks out of my inventory when I place 9. Yes, I do that. And it's such a lifesaver. And these blocks here are custom blocks, so they're like 50 to a stack. So each one I create gives me 50. Custom blocks are fun. I brought 2 target blocks into the game, but they're both only single block size. I gotta make one that's this big, 4 blocks. And hopefully one day we'll get a cancel button. So that when we inadvertently click, we don't have to continue on. Since 2018, it's been legal. And each province has its own set of rules that make it a little more restrictive than what the federal rules are. Yeah, they finally legalized it, but they went about it in a bad way. Because, hey, what do you expect the government to do? Yeah, I've seen a lot of my buddies were really heavy into it. Like, there's this magic word called moderation, and it works with anything that's legal but not good for you. If you do too much, it's bad. If you do the right amount, well, it's still not good for you, but yeah. I mean, I knew guys. Yeah, you can only buy 30 grams at a time, and if you're transporting it, it's got to be sealed in the original packaging. So, yeah, they're still pretty harsh on it if it's not theirs. If it's not Ontario's or whatever province is doing it, if they're not in control of it, then they get pretty uppity. I mean, I'm looking at. Oh no. Addiction to that is highly overrated. Like I said, there's this magic word called moderation, and a lot of people don't know what that is in today's world. And also, they can't compel me to use if I didn't want to. Like, they can't say, "Oh, you have to smoke these these different strains over the next couple of days so that you can recommend them to the clientele. It's like, you know, if you want some, you buy some. If you don't, well, you don't. You just have to know about it. You don't have to have firsthand experience. I mean, the liquor store even wants you to sample their stock so that you can recommend their stuff. Well, I do. Not everybody does. But I mean, if you get too high or you get too drunk, how the hell are you supposed to really enjoy video games? I mean, you gotta have some measure of control if you want to enjoy the video games you're playing, especially VR. Remember now, don't do too much. If you can't move off the couch, don't roll another one, you don't need it. So yeah, the cool term they have for the position is called bud tender. As opposed to bartender. Yeah, I was actually watching cyubeVR's stream there a little bit and started jonesing. I wanted to play after watching for an hour and a bit. He was testing out some of the new commands that are in the game that allow viewers, with some modifications he's made, viewers can apply key presses to do all kinds of things to the game. Well, right now, 4 things, 5 things, but you know, more will come. I sense it. Make a deer spawn at your location. Make torches fall off the walls. Make chests open and close. I think that's the funnest one for me. That and the torches. Uh, and when I'm finally done building this, I didn't start it on stream, but once I started streaming, I've been streaming this build. I'm going to make one of those high-speed montage things of it going up, including my remake of like 10 levels. I think it'll be a fun video. Get me a little more familiar with DaVinci as well. Hey. Did I forget? I forgot to come back and fix this up. Duck. One benefit of around and around I go. Well, if you want to see how far I have to go, all those blocks that you can see on the side of that, those are 10 block or 5 meter increments. When you see those, you'll see there's 2 on the side. Those are 50 meter or 100 block increments. You can see the 2 of them there. So, a little bit. I'm getting there. Once I start working, I won't have 6 hours a day to put towards building my monstrosity. Yeah, once I'm working, I'll get paid. Compensate me for not being able to do stuff by letting me do stuff. Like buy new controllers, maybe a new visor. I think this is good. This will be good for at least another year or two. I mean, other than better visuals. Depending on my base stations versus the index, maybe I'll just get a whole new index thing. I got a buddy who'll buy this off me just to have spare parts for his. Starting to run low on my chests. I've already burned through 3 chests plus an inventory's worth of stone. I might actually get back to my tower in a day or two. Well, thankfully, I have more than one large project on the go, so my castle project right now is feeding this project. I don't know if you've seen my castle in the other desert on the other side of the mountains there. I got a massive castle with a massive wall, 2 badly designed. The blocks I'm making are custom. These ones I mined right out of the ground. And I mined them for this entire flat field. But yes, these custom blocks, each and every time I suck this one thing into my inventory, I got a stack of 50. It just disappeared. Here, I'll show you one. See, 50. Yeah, you can also make your own custom blocks, and you don't necessarily have to upload them to the workshop until they're perfected. This block here is my own custom block that isn't on the workshop. I literally just took a picture of my floor and popped that in. Yeah, I've still got to do all the interior walls of all the floors, decoration, etc. My custom block I need to do a bit of work on, but I'm not much of a Photoshop kind of guy, so it's a little difficult for me to work with and make photos look good. You could probably do a lot of it. I'd need angle blocks for mine, but my place I'm living in is over 100 years old, so it's got some pretty interesting architectural thoughts. Oh wait, it was that wall. I'm sure if I used custom blocks for this floor, it would have gone a lot quicker. But at the same time, I wouldn't have cored out as much as I did in my stairwells for my other projects, so it all worked out in the end. Doors? We don't need no stinking doors. I was actually toying with the idea of hiding the entrances to my watchtower mountains. Wondering how good of a job I could do with that. Build out a little wall of dirt, leave one hole, and then have a block of dirt behind that block so that walking by it looks like it's solid. Would be an interesting experiment. One, two, three. I'm doing a fourth. Whoa. There we go. No falling. That is definitely one thing I will be changing when monsters are around. Nights will be longer. That'll be another nice thing. We'll have durability on stuff, so I can actually burn through some of my metal and I'll have incentives to just go mining. As opposed to now where it's like I'm going this way through this mountain. Oh look, there's a vein of iron. Just get the stuff that's in the way. Everything else I leave. Well, I can't wait to see what else he implements on top of the orcs he's talked about. I hope we get some like wolves and some contemporary and some fantasy type stuff. I'd also like to see something like the Draconians from Dragonlance, walking a bipedal dragon with wings that barely work for anything. They can glide a little ways, and that's about it. But they're dragons. Well, yeah, I don't expect him to put in real dragons, but I kind of hope Draconians would make the cut, because they're not as strong as dragons. I don't know if you've ever read Dragonlance. It's one of the Forgotten Realms. But they came about in a later era through trickery, deceit, black magic. But I was thinking something like that would be cool. Don't throw off my count. Bad block. That would be nice. Yeah, it's an old series, just like the Dragonlance. Somewhere in the 90s, it was written. But hey, I just finished reading it not that long ago. Got a bunch of the books borrowed. It's basically people playing D&D. They basically recounted their adventures. At least that was the original couple of books. Then of course they got some good authors in and wrote everything else. One of my favorite characters is Tasselhoff Barefoot. Most worlds call him a halfling, but he's what they call a kender. They're thieves that aren't thieves. You must have dropped it, sir. I don't know how that got in my pouch. No, I don't know how your necklace got in my pouch. What? These are your boot buckles? Common lines. And one line to make any hardy adventurer quiver in his boots is when a kender says, "Oops." Dragonlance. If you like the D&D and the fantasy style books, it's books you can read, and then if you know people that play D&D, you can go and play D&D in those worlds. And if you can, the first book I read of that entire series was The Legend of Huma. Huma. He's basically a saint in their world. And before you read all the fantasy stuff that they've written about him, if you read The Legend of Huma, you can read what actually went down. But I read that portion, that little series first in it, and then I went on to the rest. And of course, there's all kinds of suggested reading orders. He's not the only author. There's a whole whack of them. Margaret Weiss, Tracy Hickman. There's a bunch of them. I can't even remember them all anymore. But The Legend of Huma, I think, was written by him. watch out for that. Getting distracted with thoughts of supper. That's it. Wow. That. Yeah, I was over here, wasn't I? Okay. Worked that time. I don't know. I thought I was teleporting through the wall, and apparently I was not finished doing something back at my chests. I don't know. I'm gonna have to remember to let Stonebrick know about that. That was an interesting teleport. Maybe I had a save fart. Anyway, either way, I think I'm going to call it an evening now. Thank you very much, Storm Raider Gaming, for watching. I will be back tomorrow. Not sure if it's within your time frame. I'd like to thank everybody else for watching. That is and will. And until next time, have a good night.